Welcome back to another episode of the Battle Files. The content for today's video is going to be a little different. What you'll see is several reels of my physical Battlefield collection along with Medal of Honor. And I think I took a video where I have a copy of Unreal 3 for the Xbox 360 in there for some reason. At any rate, I, like many others, have seen the new content for Season 2. And I was surprised when I think it was Jack Frags kind of came to the same conclusion, or at least one of his theories was similar to mine, that they just didn't have content ready for this game. It appears that once again we're looking at 2 maps, about 4 or 5 guns, 1 or 2 gadgets, and 2 vehicles. And I know there's younger players who enjoy Battlefield who might be saying, well, what's the problem? The problem is, when they were a much smaller team, when it was not 5 studios, when it was just DICE making the games and we were paying premium, we were getting 4 to 6 maps, as Battlefield 1 sometimes had 6 maps in a map pack. We were getting 4 to 6 maps, 5 vehicles, 7 to 9 weapons, 4 to 5 gadgets. And now that it's free, the philosophy seems to be, well, you know, they're not paying for it, so make them pay for skins and give them what we feel like giving them. Or, again, maybe nothing's ready. My whole point is this. You see all of these games here. There's no way in the world that you're telling me that DICE couldn't simply just be pulling 2 maps from any of those games you just saw, including, yes, the Medal of Honor game. They're all under the same umbrella anyway. And putting those maps on Battlefield. I can deal with 2 new maps every season if you're giving us 2 old or remastered maps. The work's already done for you. The source is already there. So I don't see the problem. This is the issue I take with it. I think that the philosophy, if it's not a matter of, well, we just don't have anything done, I think the philosophy is they'll deal with it, or they'll take it because we make these really big maps and you can play multiple modes on them, which kind of change how they work. So really we're giving them more than 2 maps. And they're not. They're not really, because most Battlefield players play probably 1 or 2 modes. There's probably a small portion, especially after the COD guys came over, right, that are playing Team Deathmatch on Battlefield, but quite frankly, yuck. Like, that is, you're doing it wrong, right? And there's no argument to that. It's just the truth. Like, who the hell buys Battlefield to play Team Deathmatch? That is asinine. I mean, but do what you will. It's your money. Still gross. All that being said, we're looking at, I'm sitting here looking at them myself right now. 12 games, basically. And really more than that, because some of these games are like the expansion editions for PC. So it's like, it's got all of the expansions in it. The expansions for these older games goes about as deep as, gosh, maybe 12 maps. 16 in total. And you mean to tell me that you guys can only give us 2 new maps every season and not 2 new maps and 2 old maps? Again, this is how you fumble the bag. This is how you smoke a layup. Call of Duty's getting more players now, by the way. Yeah. And Modern Warfare 4 is coming out this year. And that thing's going to be feature rich. And it's probably going to skip the 360. Wow. the Xbox One and the PS4, which means it's going to really swing hard. Like, June's going to be interesting. And EA in their suits have decided to not give a shit enough. And that's just the most I can boil it down to. Is like, I get it. You know, this stuff's not easy. You got to find a way to make revenue, but nobody's buying those terrible ass skins. And you guys are putting 2 maps in this game. And you're drip feeding them at that. Bringing back operations, but it's a limited time event. Why? Why are we doing that? Why are we doing that? There's even a theory out there. I can't remember the YouTuber's name, but shout out to them. He thinks that there's just a skeleton crew of people making this game now. It's a small skeleton crew of people making this game, and the rest of them are just working on the next game. And if that's the case, EA, you are dumber than I thought you are. You can't turn Battlefield into a yearly series. You don't have enough content to do that. The method by which you need to make your content doesn't dictate you're going to be able to do that. How long do you think this is going to work? Seriously. Terrible maps, bad vehicle gameplay. It's not even Battlefield anymore. You think you're just going to take Call of Duty's spot? Let's put some reality into play, and I'm going to wrap with this. This Call of Duty year, this abysmal Call of Duty that they put out, this was a down year for them, right? This was a bad year. They got caught with their pants down. They released their weakest game probably since Infinite Warfare. Anybody remember what happened after Infinite Warfare? What was it? Correct me if I'm wrong. Was that World War II? Or was that Modern Warfare 2019? I can't remember correctly. But it wasn't long after Infinite Warfare that they really went ahead and changed how they moved. And that didn't go too well for Battlefield that year. I believe Battlefield 5 was the game that ended up going up against that one. So you sold real well this year. You did a good job, DICE. You did a good job, EA. Yeah, you sold 6.5 million copies or whatever it was. Best-selling game. You won't do this again. As lackluster as this game was, you will not do this again. You're doing 2 maps, lots of days go amount of weapons. You're having to delay seasons, and this is what you come up with, a bunch of... Why are we doing limited time modes? As if the game isn't lacking in content as it is. Now you're going to put these FOMO. If you don't play in these 2 weeks, you don't get to see it. Why would you do this? Who told you guys this is okay? You're not Fortnite. You're Battlefield. You're not Fortnite. I don't care what the suits in the office are telling you. You're not Fortnite. You are Battlefield. You're fumbling this. You think this content is going to bring back all of those players you lost? In a year where by holiday season, you'll have to worry about Grand Theft Auto, Modern Warfare 4, Gears of War should be out around that time too, right? Then we don't even have to talk about the non-first person shooter games like Forza Motorsport, Wolverine. You're going to be splitting time with all of these games, and this weak-ass content is all you have to give people. You're telling people, Battlefield players, they have to play these 2 maps until April. Maybe early May or something like that, right? Like I said, I was going to wait. I was going to hold my tongue. There's been a lot of stuff that's happening. A lot of people making content. I said I was going to hold my tongue until I saw what they're actually going to deliver. And now we've seen it. 2 maps. It don't make no damn sense. I've been in the files for the Battlefield, and not even the files, because I'm not even playing on PC, right? I wouldn't dare double dip on this game. I've not necessarily been the files. I've been in the server browser. I've seen that you segmented your battle royale map into different maps that people can play. You can set games on the maps. Why aren't those being used? Like, you got 12 games plus worth of content. I'm not even counting Battlefield Heroes 1943 or Battlefield Online, which really shouldn't, because a lot of those games are mostly hodgepodges of maps that already exist in these games. There's too much goddamn content in your past for you to just neglect it and say, well, we're only going to give out 2 new maps. Now you're just trolling. It looks like you don't care. And if you don't care, people in turn won't care back. I said all I can say, man. I don't know what else. I'll be playing, but I'm not optimistic about this shit at all. Those 2 maps can't be that good. We'll chat you in the next video, man. I'm telling you right now, man, this probably ain't gonna end well. Later, guys.